Hello everyone and welcome to our next video in creating a games character with the Entertainment Creation Suite. In this video, what we're going to look at is UV mapping. Let's look at a finished version of our UV map. Pop up two panels and then change that panel to represent the UV editor. All right, and in there you'll see we have 0 to 1, and this is where we want to maintain our UV map. If I select my character, you'll notice it's one single pelt that represents our character in the UV map. So your question might be, well, how do I get there? Well, let's take a look at that. All right, here is our character here that has no UV map on it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our front view, and we want to just start by creating a planar map. What we're going to do is we're going to actually define our own cut lines for our texture or for our UV map. And how we do that, let's go back to the perspective view, is we know that we want the texture borders to be in places where people aren't going to see them. Now, if you remember, Sven has a backpack, so we can quickly and easily pick the edge. Now, watch how I select this. Here's a tip and trick. Select the beginning and end, and in between, edit UVs, cut UV edges. Now, at this point, how do I know where I've cut? Under Display and Polygons, we can say Texture Border Edges, and that highlights those edges. So what we're going to do is continue to cut our character up here. Actually, let's go to there, and if I hit the G key, I should be able to recut that. So there we go. We got those turned back on. Okay. Now, what I will do is, while I'm doing this and talking at the same time, is I will upload this model, the same model that we're working on, up into the site once again, and on the area with the blog, so that each one of you can give this a try. All right, so this is going to be kind of painstaking, but I think it's good that we do this live so you can get an idea of how we're going to do this here. Pick this edge. We know we're going to come all the way down here to this edge here. Cut that. G key. And let's cut that and hit the G key. Now, one of the things you'll notice is I actually went a little too far on my texture edge there. If we go back to here, what's really cool is I can pick this edge and I can say, sew that edge. And that picks that up. So if you make a mistake, don't be afraid to go into the UV texture window and use sew the edges. Now, I want to also make sure that you pay close attention to the blog post this week, because in the blog post, we're making some references to various references online that will help you with UVing. So I don't want to just walk away and so you don't have any reference. I've actually found a couple interesting references that'll be good. Another one that I mentioned before was Anthony Ward. He has done a lot of work. There's an issue of 3D World, and this should all be captured in our blog post. So make sure you pay attention to that. Control key, just as a reminder, can remove that edge. And always remember, undo is your best friend also. edit UVs, cut the edges. Now once we get this set up, it's really not that difficult. You'll see how easy it is to actually create the pelt map that we want. Let's undo that for a sec. I picked some edges I didn't want. That went all the way to the edge, so we'll just do Control, back to there, and make sure it all went all the way around. So edit, cut UVs. Looks like we went a little far here, so again, pick that edge, sew it. There we go. Okay. So our next step is we come over here to our texture window, slide this over. Right now, getting familiar with this environment is important. So let's just keep it simple. So the QWERTY keys will come in play again. What you'll do, if you right mouse button and say UV, you'll pick green. Now, these are the UV points, not vertexes. What you do then is hold the Control key and say to shell. And all of those areas that I cut can now be slid off over here. Now, a good habit, and you'll watch a lot of videos, it's good. I work out here, and I've had really good success with that. So I encourage you to move that off the 0 to 1, move it on over here. So how do we get this to get our pelt in one shot? There's a tool called the Smooth UV tool. It's available both under Tool and this icon right here. So watch, unfold and drag. Okay, I went a little farther. Let's keep dragging it, dragging it. Let's get it as far as we can, because what I'm trying to watch here is right in between our legs here. We're going to have to do a little bit of work. There we go. Look at that. Now, if we hit the Q key, can get out of that command. We get a few little areas right through here. So again, UV. Let's pick this area right here. And go back into this tool. And just relax those just a tiny bit. All right, let's see how unfold works. Now, unfold's not going to work for us, so it relaxes our key. And what we can do now is just come in here, pick our points, hit the R key, and just straighten it out a little bit. We still got a little bit of a mess up here. So let's just select these, go back up here, relax that. I'm just going to grab these points and we're going to use scaling. So it's kind of, look at that result. So that's a good result right there with not a ton of effort. So with me talking in about 9 or 10 minutes, look at the results. So now what we can do is take this, export it out into Photoshop, and go ahead and create a texture map. Or why don't we use Mudbox? So we've done our UV texture map. We can now take this over to Mudbox, and we can start actually 3D painting. But before we do that, I want to capture what we're going to do in the next video. What we're going to look at is adding what does it look like to taking your model out of Maya and doing this in 3ds Max and combining the Entertainment Creation Suite workflow between products together. So I want to show you another method of using UVs using 3ds Max, and look forward to seeing you all in the new video.